I now ask Linda Tarr-Whelan to please step forward to the middle of the stage for the awarding of our second honorary degree. Visionary leader, champion of women's empowerment, and global activist. Linda Tarr-Whelan, today the Hartwick community celebrates your extraordinary contributions to advancing women's leadership in both the economy and government, shaping a more inclusive and equitable world. Across continents and administrations, your pioneering work has been instrumental in breaking barriers and amplifying the voices of women. From your distinguished service as Deputy Assistant for Women's Concerns in the White House under President Jimmy Carter, to your pivotal role as U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, to which you were appointed by President Bill Clinton, you have tirelessly championed gender equality and paved the way for future generations of leaders. Your groundbreaking book, Women Lead the Way, your guide to stepping up to leadership and changing the world, stands as a beacon of inspiration, offering invaluable guidance to aspiring leaders worldwide. Through your leadership roles on state commissions and your appointment to the President's Commission on Trade Policy and Negotiations, you have shaped policies that empower women and promote social justice. Drawing from your diverse experiences, including your tenure as Administrative Director of the New York State Department of Labor and Director of Government Relations for the National Education Association, you have forged pathways for progress and championed transformative change. As managing partner of Tarr-Whelan and Associates, Inc., you and your husband, Keith Tarr-Whelan, have driven international change management, fostering innovation and excellence. Your stewardship as President and Chief Executive Officer of the Center for Policy Alternatives has advanced progressive policies and inspired action toward a more just society. Rooted in your commitment to service, your journey from nursing to global leadership exemplifies resilience, dedication, and the pursuit of excellence. Your achievements, including honorary degrees from Plymouth University and Chatham University, underscore your profound impact on scholarship and society. And so, Linda Tarr-Whelan, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of Hartwick College, as delegated to them by the state of New York, I am honored to award you this day the Hartwick College honorary degree, Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Congratulations.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is such a wonderful honor, and I am very, very appreciative of it. I wanted to say, the President, I'll just put it here. Canes are not too helpful. President Mullen, the faculty and staff, the trustees, and most of all, the graduates of the class of 2024. Thank you for this wonderful honor. As a fellow nurse, I really wanted to give a special shout out to the nurses who are graduating. Where are you? Welcome to a wonderful profession. I'm glad that you are coming to join us. Now, graduation speakers usually have lots of advice, and I do have a few pieces of advice. but we have a good speaker who's going to do the commencement address. First of all, you never know where you're going to end up. Let me tell you, 64 years ago when I graduated from Johns Hopkins, I looked really good in my white uniform, my white stockings and shoes, my little organdy hat. You've seen those in movies, I'm sure. I had no idea that I would ever end up in the White House, no idea that I would ever be representing our country in front of the United Nations. So if you don't remember anything else that I say, just remember, you never know where you will end up. Now, I did love being a nurse, and the first day I went to work, the person who was the director of nursing came up to the floor at 10:30. And I have to tell you, I was a good nurse. She came up at 10:30 and said, "Come to my office immediately." Well, she said, "Would you like to quit or be fired?" She stood there like a really tough person, and I said, "Well, what's the matter?" She said, "You didn't stand up for a doctor when he came into the room." Those days went on for a long time, and I didn't stand up. I was busy fixing the IV of the patient I was charged to take care of. So I said, I'm my father's daughter, and so I said, "Well, you'll have to fire me. I'm not going to quit over something like that." So I lasted from 7 to 10:30 on the first day of my first job. Now you can just imagine calling your father and telling you that, he's just paid off the last tuition bill and you've been fired already. So I wanted to just tell you 3 ideas that have been sort of my mottos as I have come through a wonderful life, really a superb opportunity to serve. And that is, first was my mother's advice. This has really been the cornerstone. Confidence in yourself is often hard to come by, especially when you've just been fired on your first job. But she said, when the door opens, go through. Someone sees something in you that you may not even know about yourself. So go through the door and try it. So if the door opens, go through. Well, I really thought this was quite good. But then I had an opportunity when Kofi Annan was the Secretary General of the United Nations to visit with him on behalf of the President of the United States, who wanted the UN to have more women in top leadership. Well, we were not too great ourselves yet, but that was what I was to tell Kofi Annan. He was a marvelous Secretary General. And he said to me, "Ambassador, I would really like to do that, but I have a problem. Maybe you can help me with my problem." I thought, oh my God, now what, And so he said, "I have come up through the UN system, which is like the civil service, those of you interested in the Institute of Public Service." And he said, "And many, many times I have said to a woman, you would be great in that job. And she has said, well, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm all the way prepared. I think I should go back to school before I try and do that. Or I think I need more experience. Or I don't have this support at home to be able to do that." And he said, "But Ambassador, I've said the same thing to men over the years, and I've never had them say anything but thank you, I will apply." It's a good lesson, not just for women, but for all of us, that it's really important. So if the door opens, go through. Now, you heard I wrote a book, and I was traveling all over the country, actually all over the world, about this book. And one man came up at the end of signing books, and he said, "I have a real complaint about your mother's advice." I thought, well, I better not tell her that. He said, "The real problem that I have is if the door doesn't open, you gotta knock it down." So you can remember my mother and that nameless man from North Carolina who made it even better. So that's number 1. Number 2, relationships are primary, all else is secondary. And you've started here with wonderful relationships here at the college. You have to realize that everybody's got a story. You have to respect the differences that everyone brings to the table. I learned this first about relationships from a professor, an African-American professor at Harvard, who was at a conference that I attended. And I've thought of it almost every day. Relationships are primary, all else is secondary. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to find different ways to live. But the question about respect and dignity for everyone you meet is an important cornerstone for your life. I was a labor organizer for a while, and I was organizing in Memphis, hospital workers, public employees. That was the week after Martin Luther King was killed, supporting the sanitation strike in Memphis. And those men had placards. They could choose one of two placards. The first one they wore was respect and dignity. The second choice they had was just a little bit different, which was, I am a man. It could be, I am a woman. Each person deserves the respect of your life and your chance to build a relationship. And my last thought is the one that comes from a long time ago, from just before the Civil War. And Harry would probably recognize this. It was simple. It was the motto of the National Council of Negro Women, which was, lift as you climb. Bring somebody else along with you. Reach out for a younger person and make sure they can move up as well. So graduates, celebrate this feeling of accomplishment from all your hard work. Go through those doors when they open or push them open. Value your relationships and lift as you climb. The world is open to you. The world needs you. Stand up, speak out, and make a difference. You never know where you're going to end up. Thank you very much.